our tissues, because they're viscoelastic, fatigue and then go back, get their strength back again. Once this fatigues, it's done. But viscoelasticity expresses two things, which is viscosity and elasticity. Viscosity is like honey. Like honey is more viscous than water, right? The internal friction of honey is greater than the internal friction of water, so it's got this viscous nature to it. But if I pour honey off a spoon, it starts really slow, but it does speed up at some point because the internal friction changes through strain. But honey is not elastic, because if honey were elastic, when you right the spoon, the honey would go back into the spoon eventually. But it doesn't do that. But our tissues do. So that's why the variability is so important for reducing injury risk, is because viscoelastic tissues need variability. Because if you do the same thing over, it changes its mechanical properties, and it needs time to recover so that you can do it again. But this will just, it doesn't recover. This will just fatigue. Are you following that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So in like a timing belt in a car, the timing belt works until it doesn't work. But if it were made of a viscoelastic tissue, the timing belt would fatigue faster in one trip, but then it would restore itself after. But if your timing belt was at different angles and different speeds, it would fatigue less quickly because it would have time to recover in the alternating options. Does that make sense? Without a huge lecture on mechanical properties, but you can imagine that. So our tissues are like gummy worms, and we'll do a little gummy worm thing. But a gummy worm will fatigue if you pull on it too much. But if you put it down, it will go back to its original. And that's kind of cool. Like, we are unique in that way because that's what our tissues are made of.